What's up guys, it's TJ. Today's video is going through how to disassemble the Hubsan 502E. I've had a complete camera failure on this, so I thought while I'm working on it I might as well show you how to get it apart. So first of all, you've got to remove your propellers, remembering that on the new ones you've got your reverse thread. So you've got your B on that side and the A on this side. A being the black screw and B being the silver screw. So normal thread on your silver screw, reverse thread on the black screws. So take all 4 screws out and remove the propellers first. I've already done that on this one, so to make it quicker, I'm just showing you how I do it. I mean, there's probably videos out there showing you how to disassemble this, but this is my way. So once you've got those screws out, pull the propellers off, and then you've got to take off these LED landing lens from the actual quadcopter. So I don't know if you can see that pin on there. That's what secures it in. So you basically like that. You've got your 2 screws here and here, and you've got one underneath that lens there which has just come out. So once you've got that pin out, after removing the 2 screws, just prise that towards you and you will feel that screw which is hidden. So that's that. So once you've got that lens off, you've got a hidden screw here, you've got one there and one on the body, just on the tip of the body there. So in total you've got 8 screws for the lenses which need to be removed and kept separate, and you've got 12 screws for the body. So yeah, one here, one there, one there. So 12 screws in total. So once those screws are out and you've removed all the LED lenses, what I use is a pry tool from a mobile phone, because you've got all these pins, plastic pins, which keep this thing snapped together. So I just use these pry tools because they don't cause damage to plastic. So all I did was go around the arms and gently lever it up. Alright, so once you've got those locating pins, all 3, lift the top half up gradually and you'll see that you've got 2 connectors here for the GPS. So remove those connectors. So one of the actual screws snapped, the head snapped because of this Loctite thread, or Loctite on the screws I should say. It caused it to actually snap. This one here, let's see that the screw is still in the head, in the top of that shaft. You can see that one, so I've got to replace that shaft. Remove this motor mount which holds the shaft as well, so just lift it up like that. You've got those 2 locators here. The shaft has just dropped out. See the shaft there? To get this gear off, just push it down the shaft and it's out. It will only go on the bottom of the shaft in one way because it has a flat edge. So just turn it, it will drop back down. I would recommend applying some lubrication, either some grease or whatever you normally use on your drive shafts, and making sure when you reassemble it that you don't lose your washers, in my case, or bearings from the top and bottom. So just push that drive shaft back in, line it back up on the gear and relocate that mount back in like so, and it's done, ready to be reassembled. Let me move on to the actual board. to the flight controller. Right, let's show you where the screws are. So you've got 4 screws, one there, one there, one there, and one there. So make sure you use the screwdriver you've got with it, so there's no chewing of the heads. Just undo those 2 I've got in there. 1, 2. And what I also did was desolder the LED wires from both sides, because this wire is only long enough to reach the actual pads, and it's very fine, it's super fine gauge wire, so yeah, you don't want that breaking on you unless you've got other wire to replace it with. So both sides of the LEDs, which is there and there, you can see that, and there, I've removed those. Just use a low wattage soldering iron, something around 10 to 11 watts, it's plenty. So once you've got those removed, you can pull up, to give you the extra movement, you can pull up these motors. There's your fixtures there, they just come out. And okay, here's what I wanted to show you. So to remove the ribbon from the camera, which is located underneath, you've got 2 tabs here, you can see that. Just pull that towards you like that. They go too mad, just pull it out, and then I normally use like needle nose pliers, that will pull out. Same for the camera side, same connector, just pulls out like that. And when you've got it positioned back in, just push it away from you, and that'll lock the ribbon cable back in. Okay, so that's the flight controller out of the way. So once that's out of the way, you've got this battery cage here, plastic cage, which was tightened and positioned by the screws for the flight controller board. So you can just pull this up. And that'll just come out like that. Just make sure you reposition that to put the camera board back in, and you can see that with this, just pull this camera out. So that's your cage out of the way, which holds the camera lens in here, and the battery slides into that position there. Okay, so here, holding this camera module in, you've got these, clips, 4 plastic clips here, and on this, there's 1 screw, which is there. So there's 1 small screw holding that in as well, so make sure you get that screw out, otherwise the board won't come out. Basically, you just got to unclip it once you've got that small screw out, like this. Don't have to go too mad. It should come out like that. As I said, on this connector here, if you want to remove this ribbon to go into the next camera board, which is coming on, it's now on its way, just pull those tabs out like that, and it will just pull out, so you're ready to go on the next one, then obviously reverse that. So once this is pushed out, just push that back in and push the tabs back up. Just got that back in now, ready. And the actual camera lens, there's a push connector also, so you can just pull that up. As you can see, it's just connected in, so if you did just get the board without the actual camera lens, then you're just ready to push this one back in when you get it, like that, and it's back in. So I want to show you that the transmission shaft on this obviously needs replacing, so that's how it needs to be done. And once you've got that other transmission shaft, if you do damage the head like I did because of the Loctite being too strong, yeah, so 3 screws came out and one of them snapped, the head snapped, even after taking off the actual raised part and trying to get the screw out by locking grips onto it, it still broke. So I've seen on RC groups that a few of you have seen the same thing when I'm doing it. So for me, I guess you might be lucky and get all 4 screws out, but if you are planning on taking this apart, maybe get some transmission shafts. Annie from Hubsan USA has arranged for the spares to come for this because it's still under warranty. So yeah, they're on their way, and when they come, I'll put it all back together. And I'm going to test out new firmware on this also. The firmware on this was version 1.131, and I've just flashed the firmware on this board, which is great, as other toy grade quadcopters don't normally allow you to actually flash the actual firmware normally. You've got your micro USB here, so I just use my action camera. It's got a micro USB. You do need to put the battery in and go to the Hubsan site first, get your flash tool. You'll need that because it shows you what firmware you've got, and in order to flash it you need to know what that is. So once your battery's connected, connect your micro USB plug to here, then your normal USB to your laptop or desktop. Once it recognizes it, I use Windows 10, it was fine, I didn't need any drivers. Once it recognizes it, go through to the Hubsan site like I said, and it tells you what firmware you need to go from. So in my case it was version 1.131 to version 1.136. I haven't had time to try it yet, or chance to try it, because I'm waiting on my parts like I've said to get this back into the air, but once I do, and if you're interested, stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see if it works any better. If not, I believe you can downgrade, so if it's no better then I'll just downgrade back to what I had it at. Once you put this thing back together, be careful because these motors holders, they have to actually just be located back onto here like this. Be careful not to nip these wires, and they need to be run. You've got these clips here, plastic clips, one there and one there, so you actually push them into those clips. But what I would say is, to stop these wires from getting nipped when you put it all back together, is, for me, what I'm going to do is put some hot glue once they're inside to stop the wires from being pulled out again. So that's just a little tip from me, and yeah, that's basically it. So once I've got all the spares for this and put it all back together, I'm hoping that it is the camera module itself, because I've looked at the actual board and the supply seems to be under this shield, or roots around this shield. I'm hoping it's not the actual flight controller. Like I said, it should have, if you can see this, there's 2 LEDs here, so when you power this up you should have a blue light come on, which can be seen on the underneath of the shell. So the underside of the shell, you should be able to see that blue light come on from the LED in here, and like I said, this is totally dead. So hopefully when we get the bits, put it all back together, and it should work. I'll test out that firmware for you and see if you want to see that. If you're interested, like I said, make sure you're subscribed so you get updates, and we'll see how that goes from there. Also, I don't know if you saw my other videos. What I did for this is a simple landing gear mod or landing arm mod, so to give this more clearance and keep it off the ground and keep the dirt out of the gears. So that's another thing I'll do when I've assembled it. I'll show you how I did that. So this is TJ.RC UK, and this was my video on a breakdown and replacing the camera and the transmission shaft.